Good evening, everybody. It is a marvelous Monday, and we are here to recap part 2 of Married to Medicine. And oh my God, the sassiness diva, it has to stop, okay? It's got to stop. Because in the words of Cecil and Eugene, the men have never been this petty before, never been this low down and dirty, okay? Steve, you are a low down, dirty individual.
Okay.
Good evening, Auntie Diva. How you doing?
How you doing? Listen, I wanted them to get Steve off my screen so bad. He has really declassed the show.
Declassed to the purest. I mean, I was just like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Who are we talking to, first of all? And why, sir? This is your second year on the couch? Second? Was you even on the couch last year? I don't even remember you being on the couch last year. So this is your first year on the couch. And you came in doing all of this. I mean, and we're going to get into it in just a moment, Diva. But he was doing the most backstage, on stage, after stage. Sir, you just go away from us with this, Apollo, please.
And I don't like the way nobody went after Eugene when he went in the room. I was like, you know what, Steve, wrong road, as Portia was saying. Wrong road. Yeah, I just didn't like it at all. But like you said, we're gonna get into it, honey, because this is Married to Medicine Reunion Part 2 recap. Okay, Uncensored, season 16, season 12, episode 16. And I will say this for you, I understand why it wasn't a 3-part reunion.
Yeah.
They have nothing to talk about.
No.
No.
It wasn't really a lot to talk about. I mean, we really kind of dealt with the major issues in part 1, but also I feel like as we kind of discussed before we came on, you were saying that they kind of skipped around a lot. So I feel like a lot of stuff, because they weren't able to bring a resolve to it, they didn't show it. That number one, and I also think it got low and muddy and dirty, you know, and we don't want to continue to declass to show them what we already have declassed it with the foolishness that's going on. So, you know, but we're going to get into this. Listen, good evening, everybody. We appreciate each and every one of you for joining us. We are live on both channels, Chronicles of the Gray-Haired Diva and Royaire's World. So make sure you hit the like button on both channels. Make sure if you're not a subscriber, that you subscribe. And please do us a favor and hit that share button tonight. Share and let the people know that we are recapping the season finale of season 12, episode 16, part 2, a reunion of Married to Medicine. Now, Diva, I do have a trending topic, or excuse me, a street news for us, but I do not have the information pulled up, but we can still talk about it because it's still a familiar story to everybody. I'm sure everybody's heard about it. So let's jump into street news real quick. So sorry for my ill-prepared planning, everyone, but I did want to address really quickly, Diva, this situation with Lord Jesus. Listen, y'all, it's the day before my birthday, so bear with me, okay? We've been having a time, okay?
24 hours and it's your birthday. Holla.
TLC.
Oh, what's her name? I know who you're talking about.
Not T-Boz, not Left Eye, Chilli. There we go, Chilli. You know, so those of you who may or may not know, Chilli has recently been all over the vlogs with, you know, unfortunately being found donating, and I don't want to say for unfortunate because everybody have a right to do what they want to do.
Yes.
But it is a disappointment to the community that supports you and who are receiving the backlash of everything that's going on. So she has recently been found of giving $900 to the Trump administration, the MAGA, you know, presidency while he was running. And then she also reposted, mistakenly, according to what she said, a video of Michelle Obama being called a trans woman, you know, that she was born a man and now she's trans. So that has been all over the internet everywhere, Diva. You know, also they just recently announced that TLC, Salt and Pepper, and In Vogue will be going on tour all together. Have you seen that?
No.
Okay. Okay, well, see, I'm spreading news to the people, so you did not know that. So
you said street news.
Yeah. According to the streets, TLC, Salt and Pepper, and In Vogue are all going to be on a tour together. Mm-hmm. And so now a lot of people are saying that they will not be attending. Thank you so much. A lot of the people, thank you. A lot of people are saying that they will not be attending the celebration of these groups coming together because of what has happened with Chilli and the finding out of all of this information. You know, unfortunately, this has now affected T-Boz as well because she is a part of the trio TLC. And so a lot of people are calling for TLC to be kicked off of that tour so that the other ladies can continue on getting their check because, you know, a lot of our community do not want to support her after finding out that she is supporting someone who affects us in a negative way. And so I was just curious on your thoughts, you know, if you had any, you know, and what you know.
No, you know, I do. I love the street news. Come on, I'm here for the street news all day, every day. So just share that screen where you
Shout out. See, this is why she is that co-host, okay? Shout out to my boo.
Hello.
Thank you, Auntie.
Together we see each other, okay? So listen, it says, Chilli from TLC reportedly donated to Trump multiple times in 2024. The news comes after she reposts false claim about Michelle Obama being a trans and voting as a man. So neighbors Chilli from TLC is making headlines after Midas Touch reported that election records show she donated to Donald Trump and other Republicans multiple times during the 2024 election cycle. According to the outlet FEC, records tied to Wazota Thomas, Chilli's real name, her government name, show contributions totaling just under $900. Of that amount, nearly $800 went to Trump's PACs. 63 went to the National Republican Senatorial Committee, and $7 went to Senator Ted Cruz. Not $7. You know, they be playing so much, right? The donation seemed to confirm Chilli's support for now president, especially after she reportedly reposted a debunked conspiracy theory about Michelle Obama. The post pushed the false claim that the former first lady is transgender and was registered to vote as a man in Illinois in 1994. The repost no longer appears on Chilli's page. Chilli has not yet addressed the donations, though, okay? And this is her. Not they put up all her good business. Stone Mountain, Georgia. Occupation retired. Year to date, $340, then another $100, and then, you know, more, whatever. And then they show all the donations there that she made. All right, now show him the birthday love. Thank you, Juanita. Okay, so, you know, and there go Chilli. So, listen, what do I have to say about this overall? I think that everybody has a right. Hold on. Let me see. I think everybody has a right, Royaire, to whatever they want to do, right? So how do I say this? Chilli messed up in the sense that, you know, to me, work and politics should never blend. And when you are a public figure, I think it's not right how they could dig up your information. You understand what I'm trying to say? And find out all the business of who you voted for, how you did it, and what you donated or didn't donate, so forth and so on. Oh, this is the announcement of the tour. Okay, you know, and then you're going to end up messing up the bag for everybody, which is messy. And now she not only messed up the bag, she messed up the bag for T-Boz. You understand what I'm saying? Because for the people not to buy the tickets, first of all, they're my age group, right? So you're talking about the people in their 50s, maybe approaching their 60s. This is your bracket because you're not going to have too many of the young people going to see TLC and Salt and Pepper. So you have a small bracket right there of, you know, who you can get to get a ticket. And then the part that I don't like, I don't care that she donated to a campaign and a certain a political party. That's really not my circus. My issue was her reposting that false narrative about Michelle Obama. Because I think everybody has the right to vote for whoever they want to vote for. But when you want to post that Michelle Obama was originally a man and she was registered to vote as a man, I think that's nasty work. And that's you're on mute, Royaire. And that's my real issue with her. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're doing too much. You're doing way too much.
Like, you know, Steve.
Like Steve, first of all, and second of all, so that's the little tour, just in case anybody doesn't know. Like I said, it'll be TLC, Salt and Pepper, and In Vogue. So, you know, a lot of people are boycotting this tour now, Diva, because they do not want to support someone who is not in support of our community. But also, you know, like you said, Diva, I also took issue with that video. And here's my other thing with the whole reposting situation of it all. Here's the problem, Diva. When you, your algorithm is set up to what you like. What you hit that, like when you hit that like button on your Instagram, it sets your algorithm to show things like that. So this has to be somewhere in your repertoire where you are supporting things of this nature, which is problematic in itself because you're pushing an agenda against your own people that you know is not true about this woman. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? And then first you said that you posted it or you reposted it and you didn't know about it, but then you said you seen it and, you know, you just a mess of it all. She's made a really big mess for herself. And I'm really curious on how, you know, if she'll be able to clean this up and how this will affect the tour. You know, obviously you didn't know about it, Diva, so I guess not many people know about it either. But I was in the comments.
I didn't really know about the tour, but I did know about this situation.
Right, yeah, that's what I'm talking about, the tour, yeah. But as I was reading through the comments of the tour, a lot of people who are TLC, In Vogue, you know, fans, they have decided not to go. They have expressed in the comments that they will not be there and they will not be supporting. You know, a lot of people have asked, can we kick Chilli off the, you know, crew and keep T-Boz and have an honorary moment for TLC? Some people have suggested for either Escape or SWV to replace them. You know, this is going to be a really interesting situation. So we'll see how all of this, you know, unfolds as, you know, it continues on. And I'll keep us up to date with that because I'm definitely curious of how this is going to affect that tour.
So she messed up the bag.
She big time. Big time. And it was like kind of almost like as if it was set up like their concert tour released one day and maybe like a few days later, boom, all of this stuff come rolling out about her, you know, given to the campaign and all of that. So
well, now it's very sad. Like you can't do anything because the people are going to dig back in your social media from birth. The people now are looking up what hospital you was born in.
Well, conception.
And they're gonna be like, Diva stole the pacifier from the baby next to her. We can't stand her. Don't go support her. Like it's bad now. And again, I really have to say, Royaire, I really feel like I just really feel like, you know, your political party is your business.
Yeah.
But like I said, my biggest thing with her was the fact that she reposted that nasty rumor about Michelle Obama.
Yeah.
Disgusting behavior.
Done with it, over it. Shame on you. Shame on you. Well, listen, that was our street news moment. So thank you for tuning in with us. Listen, we are jumping into our part 2 recap reunion of Married to Medicine, the season finale. We are on season 12, episode 16. Thank you for all of the birthday wishes tonight. I truly appreciate the love and support. Thank you guys for always showing up for us. We really appreciate it. So one more time, if you can hit the like button for both of us on Chronicles of the Gray Hair Diva and Royaire's World. I'll drop both of our channels in the chat in just a moment on each channel. If you could subscribe if you're not a subscriber to both of our channels, and then share tonight's live. Let the people know we are recapping Married to Medicine Part 2. And the best in the world, Auntie Diva, is going to be running our show for tonight because, like I said, I've been a little unprepared today. So y'all be gracious, be kind, and be nice. And let's jump into this, Auntie. Let's get it.
Let's jump into this. So we Married to Medicine reunion Part 2, uncensored. Okay, Dr. Simone and Dr. Jackie end up making up. I have to say this, Royaire has word for word details. I'm giving y'all snippets. Okay, so work with it, sister. I have to say this. If you seen Heavenly's face the whole time they was making up, it was disgusting behavior to me. Disgusting behavior. I thought it was pretty sad. And I thought truly that Heavenly is the wedge between Simone and Jackie. And I will also say this, Heavenly should take note. Andy was not here for all of her shenanigans and how she seems to be the wedge between Simone and Jackie. They hugged, they said they loved each other, and they also, Jackie told her, now stop playing and go back and follow me again, okay? And Simone said she will follow her back again. Now, as that is happening, and Andy told Dr. Heavenly that she was wrong, okay? Somebody said Heavenly is diabolical. I tend to agree, but we're gonna move forward, okay?
Listen, we're trying to get to the Met Gala next year, so we got to calm down.
I gotta roll back. That's why I was just like, I agree, okay? Andre said that Steve was doing much Married to Medicine. Yeah, he was doing too much. I cannot.
Too much.
I don't like him. I really don't. So the men talk, okay. That like they're in the back and they're talking and Curtis talks to Eugene about Toya and pretty much said that Eugene is perpetrating a lie, that he is because Eugene is okay with Toya saying all this bad stuff about Curtis and how Curtis it just loves to grab on women, so forth and so on. And Curtis was just really emotional and upset about this. And I said to myself, first of all, Curtis, if that's making you mad over the fact that you played your whole wife out on the TV, I don't care. No matter what Toya could say, it still doesn't override that you played Jackie out on Married to Medicine, okay? So I think that people would think less about you grabbing Toya and pulling her on your lap if you wasn't caught cheating on your wife, okay? So I just, I didn't like the energy. A lot of them had so much energy towards Eugene, and I was just like, I'm not liking this. I'm not feeling it. And I was very emotional watching Reunion Part 2 last night because I could have kicked Mimi and Steve off that stage. Steve he was being nasty, Royaire, nasty. Yeah. We'll get more into it as we go down. So what do you think just about the opening and how Dr. Jackie and Simone got back together?
I was really ashamed of the whole moment, in my opinion. The fact that Jackie had to come over there and ask Simone, what do you want me to do? What do you mean, what do you want me to do? You sat on Watch What Happens Live, and Andy asked you those questions. Did she hit her? Did she push her? Oh, I didn't see the footage. You were there in the moment when it all happened. And then when he said, well, you did see the footage, you still stood 10 toes down on some, well, I don't know. And then to come over and act like you don't know what you need to apologize for, it just blew my mind, Diva. I was so blown, and I'm truly disappointed. And I think going forward, we will continue to see the fallout of Jackie and Simone, because that original friendship that was there once before is no longer there. real connection is no longer there. Obviously, Jackie has picked a side and she has chosen Heavenly. And I feel, Simone, listen, you got Toya, ride with your girl Toya, as Jackie is going to ride with Heavenly. It was just deplorable to me. It was disappointing. As Simone said also, oh, now you got to tell me you hugging me. Any other time we reaching out, connecting, hugging with each other. She had to, I'm going to hug you now. It just false, fake, phony. I just didn't like it at all. And I'm truly disappointed in Jackie. To be the elder of the group, in the words of Mariah, your slip is showing.
But didn't Mariah always say that Jackie, had a nasty side?
She was a real mean girl of the group.
She was a real mean girl. I do feel like you said Jackie's slip is showing.
Yeah.
She, but you know what I always think about friends, Royaire? If you got friends that have you competing between you and another person, to me, that's not a real friend. And Jackie is trying to balance her relationship between Heavenly and Dr. Simone. But I feel like as a professional, the more professional one is Dr. Simone. Dr. Heavenly is not refined at all. It's almost like somebody plucked her from the ghetto and stuck the doctor before her name. She's not
rising girl, but you can't take the girl out the hood. Okay.
Yeah, she's not rising up to the occasion. And I don't like the way she act. I feel like she was very childish on the stage. As those two were talking, Steve's getting dragged on these YouTube streets on all platforms. Well, you know what? I'm 50 Gold. Thank you for that news.
Congratulations.
Play
stupid game, you win stupid prizes.
I'm 50 Gold. I really appreciate you bringing the street news to us, honey. Because he needs to be dragged. He's nasty work. And the men, like they said, the men have never been that low in the gutter until he came. And you better let him know, Eugene. You said, I've been on this stage 12 years.
And when did this start?
When you came.
So speaking of Eugene, since you brought that up, Eugene being backstage, Diva, I have to say that I was highly, 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 highly disappointed in the other men. For them to, sit there and allow Curtis to lie on national TV about not grabbing any women, that is untrue. We have seen you touch Heavenly by her waist, whether it was just taking a picture or whatever. You should not be touching nobody by their waist that is not your spouse. You grabbed Toya on national TV and pulled her into your lap after she was giving you a test from your cheating scandal that you had already had. And you're going to try to put it on Eugene and say that his wife started it by saying things. What do you say, Diva, all the time? We can't talk about what you don't show us.
Boom.
You got on camera and grabbed Toya by her waist. You went to the airport and allowed cameras to Snapchat you of kissing and touching another woman that was not your wife. You made those decisions. And now you want Eugene to come in and like Damon wanted last year, for him to say, oh, you're a great man, you're an honest man, you cheer for Curtis, cheer for Curtis. No, we're not cheering for bad behavior. We're not going to do that. Them days are gone. That's why we're in the situation that we're in society now, because we be cheering for bad behavior. No, sir, you were wrong for what you did. Toya called you out on it, and you got mad. Now, it's so funny. You was cool with judging King and Quad and what they had going on, but when somebody brings your truth to your face, all of a sudden, I don't want to admit to anything and you're less than a man. No, you're less than a man for not standing on business for what you did, Curtis.
That part.
And for Cecil and I don't expect Damon to say anything, but for Cecil and Scott to sit there and allow that foolishness to ride on, like y'all, you even said yourself, Scott, Curtis was too old to be saying things of what he was saying in regards to Quad and them. So you know that he's been out of pocket and out of line before. Where is your stand-up now? And we're getting to this, but it was just behooving to me how none of the men stood on anything when it came to the truth that was being spoken. Nobody had anything to say. Nobody.
It was deplorable for your friend of 12 years at the very least. But now we see though Cecil can't stand up to his kids. So.
Okay, you're right about that.
No, okay, but you know what? We got to get. And you know what? I'm 50 Gold. Cecil did say something because he did tell him when all the men was on the stage. He was like, "Come on, Steve." When Steve was like,
Yeah, but that was on stage. He was disrespecting Eugene backstage before they even got the stage, and he didn't say anything.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree. So it was disheartening, and I always took pride that the men never went as low as the ladies, but Steve brought that to a whole nother low. Kept calling him Mr. Bush. I was like, we'll get there. We'll get there. I'm sorry, y'all. So now we have this little package where they say the best medical professionals in Atlanta. Yes, he did class the show, honey. And I'm glad he's getting dragged for filth on these YouTube streets. I told y'all from the beginning, y'all don't give me no credit. I told y'all Steve and Mimi was a mess.
A mess. You did. You called it. You called it.
I'm gonna put some respect on the Diva name.
Look, you was a good judge of character this time.
So listen. The best medical professionals, like they had that package. Atlanta has the offer, and they show Dr. Contessa, and she pretty much says she loves medicine and she will never retire. Dr. Simone and Dr. Jackie, they just say too, they show them and how they, they're doing medicine and all of that. They show Dr. Heavenly. Dr. Mimi says she focuses on women's mental health. They show Dr. Eugene, and they show that thing from when they went to Jamaica, and Angie was up there talking about you's brave, you strong, you smart, and you can do and be anything. Okay, so they showed them all being medical professionals, and I did appreciate that docket, right? And then they said, they talked about the different, like he asked them questions like, what do you come on now, thank you, Lawson, I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Yeah, they trash. I saw right through them. But anyway, so they talk about he talks about different social media health trends, and Dr. Jackie said they fighting against TikTok because now there's social media. They want to be these doctors. Don't do this. Don't do that. Don't do that. Whatever. TikTok ain't going to save your life when you in the hospital having a heart attack.
Right.
And Dr. Simone talked about how literally one person, she darn near died and she didn't want to have her baby because she didn't want her baby to be a certain zodiac sign. Like, are y'all serious, people? They talked about how DEI is impacting the future people of color being doctors and nurses and all of that. And all of them pretty much talked about how DEI helped them become a doctor because their families wouldn't have been able to afford no $400,000 education. So had it not been for all of these programs, they might be doctors today. And one thing I do appreciate about all of these ladies, I really do appreciate that all of them are medical professionals, and they're in a bracket where they're a very small percentage. And they really, and I always have to give it up, and this is not to say that anyone else on that platform is not doing the thing, but I really give it up to Dr. Jackie and Dr. Simone because I'm willing to bet darn near almost every Black baby in Atlanta, they delivered from a certain time period. Those ladies are really doing it. They know what they're talking about when it comes to medicine. Yeah, Jackie, though, she always had her nose in the air.
Yeah.
I don't know where she gets that from. Have we ever seen any of Jackie's family?
In the early seasons, we met Jackie's mom. I want to say we met Jackie's sister. Yes, we met her dad. Remember, her dad was passing away. He came and lived with her I want to say he had early onset dementia maybe, or something was going on. Yeah, in those earlier seasons, we have met Jackie's mom, her dad, and her sister, I want to say. And I want to say a niece maybe. We met Curtis's daughter at one point in time. We did meet Curtis's daughter. Yeah.
Well, I don't remember meeting Jackie family, Jackie Peoples. Well, they said yes, the father was going through.
Okay.
Okay. I just don't remember that. Because Jackie just got her nose up in the air. Jackie sits up high and looks down low on everybody. Okay? She too much. And you know what's sad to me about that Royaire, all jokes aside, I think Jackie's actually beautiful. I think she's a very smart woman.
Mm-hmm.
I think that she really handled her medical practice well.
Mm-hmm.
She has expanded and started to do other things in the medical practice. I just wish Jackie wasn't so like nose up in the air.
Stuck up.
It's horrible. And I think Jackie is a horrible friend. I would never want to be her friend, like ever. When you want to choose me, who I've been with you for 30 plus years or more, and you choosing Dr. Heavenly, if you have to make a choice and you choosing Dr. Heavenly, then I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm glad they made up and they hugged though, but you know, it's a lot.
It just didn't feel authentic to me, Diva. It really did not feel authentic. I didn't like it. I don't know. I don't know.
You know, you are correct, Royaire. Why? Because Jackie ain't authentic. She came over there. What do you want me to do? Now you stupid, Jackie. You a whole doctor with several degrees. Now you got to ask somebody how is it they want you to make it up to them? Simone must have told her 20 times. You saw the footage. You saw the footage.
Paige said her mom and sister were overrated. She criticized other body weights when it's in her own family by Dr. Jackie. They were heavy set. They were on the heavier side.
I don't remember. Y'all be remembering everything. I don't remember. That is so messy. So she's embarrassed about her people. That's why she don't show them that much, Royaire. She embarrassed because they big. That ain't right. She probably gave them Ozempic. Jackie's messy. They talked about that nurse that, you know, lost his life, you know, with the ICE situation, and everybody said it was scary. And Dr. Heavenly said if a white person could get killed, then what hope do we have? They talk about the infant mortality, and you know, what's the name? Contessa was like, PrEP is for everybody. So whether you she said whether you having same-sex relationships, heterosexual relationships, she said PrEP is for everybody. You know, so I don't have nobody, so I don't need the PrEP.
Yeah. I don't know. The doctor's moments, it was what it was. Of course, you know, the one thing we can always count on is the ladies are going to have a good time. What I will say is that we have educated women who know what they're talking about. They know what they are doing. You know, Contessa spreading the word about PrEP. I am on PrEP myself, you know, so they say, and I hear this all the time, even from my primary care position, you know, anytime, even if you are in a relationship, just be careful. Just take it. You just don't know. You don't know. And you want your safety over it, you know, over all safety. You know, my doctor does talk about also, it's just not for women or for men. It is for women as well. You know, we live in such a sexual fluid generation now that you just really have to protect and cover yourself. So I love that they talked about that and brought that up, especially also, I know this is a little off topic, but, you know, they are doing a lot of defunding in the area of AIDS, HIV, you know, educating and all of that. So it's beautiful that we still have a community on television that is still making awareness of this, you know, and bringing good information. You know, don't listen to the TikTok. You know, I just couldn't imagine being a doctor in this day and age, Diva, and the people coming in telling me how to do my job, like that I went to school for 8 years. Like it's crazy. It's crazy, but it was beautiful seeing a moment with the ladies. I thought that was a nice moment, but nothing really stood out from that conversation for me.
Yeah. So, you know, and when I worked in a hospital, one of the doctors had to tell the people, well, you know, is what you looked up going to be able to operate on you in the operating room? He said, I've been doing this for 20 plus years. You don't want no antibiotics, then you want to die.
Yeah.
But, you know, he was one of those doctors that he kept it 100. And I appreciate, you know, but everybody can't handle the truth. I'll be very honest with you. A lot of people get very emotional about it and they want to, you know, you know, that part. Yeah, the PrEP commercials need to do better. You are correct, Nikki. You are correct. The prep commercials need to do better, and they always gear certain, beverages, certain fast food ads, prep to certain communities, as if those are the only communities that are impacted by the situation. So, Nikki, I do agree with you that they need to upgrade those commercials and let it know that it is for everybody, because men and women catch HIV or AIDS or whatever the case may be. So they need to educate better. I do agree. So now, we'll move on to the husbands on the stage. This was the most disheartening moment for me, period. And this was one of the saddest scenes, in my opinion, in reality TV history that we have seen a long time. And they need to say, instead of, remember how they said, bring Eddie out, bring Eddie out. They need to kick Steve out, and kick his wife, Dr. Mimi, out with him. I'm sick of them.
Gotta go.
Gotta go. Yes, Emmanuel, the lowest moments for Married to Medicine, period. So, Eugene and Curtis got first chair on the couch, okay? And then on Curtis' side was Damon, then Steve, okay? And Andy told Steve, I see the cleavage and the ice you got on, right? Then on
I said, come on, Andy, you better shake.
Andy is messy, okay? Messy. So then you got Eugene, Cecil, Scott, okay? And Scott said he needed to have 2 more laser surgeries, and then his eyes was going to be okay, all right? And then they said, and the ladies kind of in the back talking, and they said, Curtis and Eugene, here we go with Lapgate. And Curtis was hot, stinking mad. Curtis was saying how you don't check your wife and your wife is lying. I ain't dealing with lies. I was so sick of Curtis. He's another one. But now I really see how him and Jackie are together, because they both got their nose in the air like they so elite. And how dare you or anybody around you say anything about me? He said, your wife is wrong, and I don't deal with lies, and this, that, and the other. And you need to apologize for your wife. And they act like Damon is sitting right next to God. And I don't get that either, okay? And Damon, he acts like that too, like he's so self-righteous and he checks his wife. I mean, everybody was on that stage lying. That thing made me so mad. So, for a minute there, Curtis and Eugene go back and forth, and they decide that, you know what, it is what it is. And then here goes Steve. He wants to puff his chest, okay? Exactly, Savannah, there's video footage, sir, of you pulling Toya in your lap, okay? So God only knows what you did without there being footage, right? Curtis does need the hush, okay? Come on, y'all could rip it up in that chat, okay? Curtis needs the hush. So now, and yeah, there's photos at you of the airport, sir. Yes, okay? Now we wish he would. Oh, you're right. I'm one of the ones that was like, where's Curtis? Wherever he was, Jackie could stuff him back in that box. Let him miss all the reunions like Robin's husband used to miss. Okay, what was his name again? I forgot his name.
Yeah.
Yeah, you go hang out with Robin's husband, Curtis, with the next reunion. We don't need you. Trash behavior. Right, Juan. Yeah. Then but you see, if you notice, Andy did ask Steve, why you think you didn't have to pay? It's a charity. Okay. And Steve wanted to come out and say he gave more money, but I'm mixing up when all the men came out. But Steve, I don't like Steve. I don't like the way he called Eugene Mr. Bush. I don't like the way he said you needed to check your wife. I don't like he had so much energy over why he was singled out about this ticket. I was singled out, and why did you have this one at the door? And you know what? I didn't like when they put them all together, but we'll get there, Royaire. When Contessa was like, why did Eugene get in it? Contessa, go back and sit down and shut up.
Several.
Okay, so that was the man, and it was interesting to me how quickly he asked the men to get up on out of there. They was only there for like 2.2 seconds. We went through the different things. I forgot he talked to Damon, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Damon, my son, and we're not sure where he at, and I don't like when nobody talk about him and this, that. I was like, I closed my eyes while Damon was talking, because I'm sick of him and his lies too, Royaire. I'm really sick of him. And he knows, and he refused to answer the question. And Scott spoke up, but I really feel like everybody's so scared of Damon for whatever reason. Scott was like, but what about when your wife talked about everybody on this stage? And Damon don't say nothing about that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sick of Damon. I'm sick of Damon. I'm sick of Damon. When they go backstage with the ladies, Simone said to Quad, I'm having, deja vu because what happened to us last year back here. And I love the way Quad handled it. She told her, let it go. We done slept in the bed together and everything since then. Just let it go and let's move forward. Okay. Toya said to Dr. Jackie, your husband said it never happened, but it did happen. And she said, you talked about a lot of things too. So pretty much let it go. Curtis said that Eugene is lying and he's done with it. Okay. What happened? Brandy's husband was there.
Oh, okay. Okay.
He was on the stage. Remember what he had to say? They was at Jamaica for 30 minutes. And then they FaceTime him to say thank you for the chicken wings.
Hollering. Okay.
It was not for him to say. Okay. And then here's the thing. This is what I know. Like Damon, Dr. Damon is a liar. Andy asked him. He said, "Why did you tell Heavenly you didn't have a massage?" Oh, I had a massage. I had forgot because we go get massages every week. Eugene said that him and Toya had a merry moment, and I get that, Royaire. You marry, you a couple, you have your moments. You be like, honey, pick that up off the floor. Stop doing this, stop doing that. They just happened to be on TV, so their moment was on TV. Okay. And Cecil, thank God, praise the Lord. Cecil told Steve to stop it. I like Cecil. He told Steve to stop it. When Steve called him Mr. Bush, he told Steve, he said, come on, stop it. Don't do that. That man scene pissed me off, Royaire. What's your thoughts?
It definitely pissed me off, but when I tell you it was TV gold, I left that moment with my mouth on the floor. I think this is the first time on television that we have had a group of men really just on Bravo anyways, really just going at it with one another. And it was entertaining, but sad to watch. Definitely sending up well wishes for Scott. Hopefully the surgery goes well. That's no joke to play with your eyesight, being a doctor or not being a doctor. We all want to have our eyesight. So praying that all goes well with that and that he has a speedy recovery. Curtis and Lapgate, this whole situation with Curtis, this is what it looks like when a man can't take responsibility for his own actions. When you want to dust things under the rug, but then you want to judge others for what they have going on. Sir, how dare you? You're mad because the cameras caught you pulling another female after you cheated on your wife in your lap. Inappropriate. Totally inappropriate. Totally inappropriate. And you really got off easy because Eugene should have checked you then as a man, since we want to talk about who a quote unquote man, but he let you have grace and he let it slide. Because what do, Diva? As the men, we don't involve ourselves in the BS. But I guess now that Stevie has entered the building, we can start doing girl shit. Oh, excuse me.
You fine.
I was emotional, y'all. Please forgive me. We try not to go too far.
That's where he got us. That's where he got us.
It totally offended me. Let's deal with, Eugene.
Oh, yes.
This is how you sit on your chariot and don't stoop down to throw tomatoes with the other peasants, okay? Eugene said what he said. It was an event for charity. Everybody else knew that they had to pay to get in. You were the only one that didn't know. And you're mad because I'm defending my wife. I'm covering my wife. The very thing that you and Mimi set up and said, y'all for marriage, y'all cheer on marriage. Couples should be there for one another. So the very thing that he's doing, you're now scolding him for standing for his wife and being there for his wife. Sir, I'm confused. It's giving sassy all the way. Then for you to stoop even low and call this man Mr. Bush. And then, Cecil, you want to finally speak up. Cecil, sir, you are a day late and $1 short. You should have spoke up backstage when he was disrespecting me left and right. Don't try to speak up now that we all on camera and everything. No. Curtis, then you want to act like Eugene is this big bad guy as if Jackie don't be over here on the sideline saying stuff too. What are we talking about? So we're beating up Eugene for his wife doing the very thing that everybody else's wife on this couch does? I'm confused. Why are we only holding Eugene accountable for things? Corporate number one, Heavenly, all 12 years that she has been on this show, has disrespected, talked about, mistreated, talked down, all of the above to everybody, women and men. Ain't nobody held Damon's feet to the fire the way that y'all holding Eugene's feet to the fire. I'm confused. And then, Diva, we got to talk about this medical situation. Let's stop the lies. Now, calm down. This is what really blows me, Diva. What really blows me is that we have cast members like Simone and Cecil and Eugene and Toya who come up here and put their real lives on television. Then we have Heavenly, who's going to sit up here and lie to us talking about her son had a medical emergency and we didn't know what happened and we're not sure what was going on and we had to reach out to Mimi. Let's talk about what's really happened. Allegedly, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, your son got on some drugs, he had a trip, and now he got a chemical imbalance. Let's keep it real. Let's talk about it. Things happen. Things happen to people. Why are you on here if you can't be a witness of trying to make things better? Now, you got your girl Mimi sitting over here next to you who done put her autistic son on TV and showing all that he can do and, you know, being better. What would have been the issue of you talking about your son? That you did so well on and you did everything for, and you and him are so close to your dad, to your husband, and he's so close to you. Yet and still, this young man is not close enough to reach out to the very people that did everything for him, that you're still not in communication with. Damon, you sat up here and said on national TV on that chair that you and Heavenly talk about everything. But then when Andy addressed you on how your son, your wife didn't know that your son was arrested, now all of a sudden, well, I try to handle things to my, and I'm a quiet man, and I'll go away from us with this, Apollo, please. Stop. Stop the BS. The only real individual that sat up there and stood on business was Eugene. And then now you want to apologize for everything that Heavenly said after 12 years of her dragging everybody. And does she listen to you? Well, she's doing a better job. Where? Show me where.
He's such a liar.
This was a disaster.
It
was complete disrespect. I mean, nobody had Eugene's back. Nobody, you know, it's just hilarious to me, Diva, that everybody else knew that they had to pay the $300 instead for Steve and Mimi. Y'all the only ones who did not know.
And they was the only ones that
they didn't want to have nothing to do with it. That couple.
Yeah. And like Eugene asked, why did you come?
Why did you come?
Why did you come?
And came and
it was the Met Gala. It was the Met Gala. No. You didn't like it. Your wife wasn't involved. They disrespected your wife. Why didn't you come? And if it's a group thing and Mimi was getting kicked out of everything, yeah, Andy is sick of Heavenly. You could tell. Andy is sick of Heavenly. He don't like it. Andy loves I'm trying to find the right words about it, but he loved the fact that every year he would come and Simone and Dr. Jackie was in the same fitting room, right? And these girls, when these girls they make music, whether they could sing or not. If you go back to watch what happens live with Andy, what's his name was on there that she got kicked off a role. What is her name? Why is her name from my mind? And she said twirl and twirl and twirl. Anymore. When she was singing that song, Andy was so into it. And when Luann Doucette came up there talking about money don't buy you class and all of that, Andy loves stuff like that. Okay. And he doesn't mind the shade, but he doesn't like when there's wedges, and because he loves Simone and Heavenly together. He is sick. I'm not Heavenly and Dr. Jackie together. He is sick of he is sick of Heavenly. He really is. You saw it. You saw it. So
and then this fake apology that Eugene Damon want to give, talking about, well, if my wife has said anything about anybody that's offended. What you mean if? We don't know if. You sat on the couch yourself and said that you were disappointed in this show because it's brought the worst out of everybody. So you know what has been said. You know what has been said. Just stop. You don't mean it. You trying to look like this good guy. Like, quit it. Eugene came to you as a man this season and said, I did not say nothing about your son. I wouldn't say anything about your son. And the very thing that your wife is doing, I know y'all yourselves would not allow to be done to y'all if somebody was doing it to you. Where was Eugene's apology? Since we want to pass out apologies. Because he came to you as a man to fix the issue that y'all were having because of your wife. Your wife.
Yeah, no, that was deplorable, horrible behavior. So Damon comments on why he didn't tell Dr. Heavenly about their son. He said, and he said, we don't know the entire story. Well, sir, you're on reality TV. Tell it to us. That's what we're here for, okay? And he said they're not seeing their son, okay? And he said how he's very surprised, like you said, about everything that happens on the show. You're only surprised because for finally the people are coming back at you in Heavenly, and you're pissed about it because all of this stuff that's happening, it been happening on the show. This is nothing new. Everybody got talked about. Heavenly didn't. And now that it's coming back on y'all, now all of a sudden you surprised and you're appalled. Go sit down, Dr. Damon, okay? Now, Eugene and Cecil talked, not Cecil, Eugene and Cecil talked about how, do I need to bring the receipts, baby girl? Child.
Mariah. Okay. Do I need to bring the receipts?
Now, so Cecil and Eugene talked about how the guys always may have gotten to, I'm team Eugene too, how the guys may have always gotten into fights or arguments or whatever, but he said how it's never gotten this low. He talked about how it's never been this disjointed until Steve arrived, okay? And Cecil agreed with that, right? So the ladies and the men are now back on stage, okay? And Andy's asking them different questions about, that's how you knew they didn't have much to talk about, because Andy had to make up stuff to ask them questions to get something going, right? Because Andy said, he asked some of them, like, what did your wives do as girlfriends that, you expected them from them as girlfriends and not as wife? To me, Curtis and Dr. Jackie must still not be having enough sex for Curtis. Because every time you turn around, Curtis is talking about this sex thing. And he's saying, said he asked for sex as a wife. I guess he didn't ask a girlfriend, but he's saying that him and Dr. Jackie are trying to get to the level where King and Quad was. But it kind of tells you that, it doesn't matter what it doesn't matter, so to speak, what level that how much sex you have. obviously that didn't save King and Quad's relationship. So 15 times they're not together anymore. But however many times what's her ex, Greg and Sweet Tea was having, they're still together. So check that. Cecil said Simone was more mild-mannered as a girlfriend, and now she just runs her mouth. Okay. Mimi and Steve, here they go, because you know they the perfect couple. You know, how do we survive with our autistic kids and staying together? We do check-ins, and I let her know I affirm her, telling her she is enough. Y'all two can go write a book somewhere together. That part, Royaire, and selling in Barnes and Noble for $2.99 and hope people buy it. Okay. Simone said, what did Simone say, Menace? Oh, she said that Simone said she's not, she said, despite, you know, what everybody believes, she is not financially supporting Cecil. He has 2 jobs, okay? And she said, yes, she still does everything for 2, honey. She still does everything for her kids. And she said there are bills that they split. So check that, okay? And she said that she just pretty much wants Cecil to be alive. When she says no to the boys, come along and say no. She said he's doing better, but you know it's a work in progress. Okay. Andy told Curtis, you got a whole lot of backlash off of you running your mouth about Quad and King. And here go him and Dr. Jackie. You know, they should be forgiven 100% because they took ownership and came back and said sorry. Y'all can throw that garbage in the trash. You run your mouth too much, Curtis, and that's why you having all of this anger and energy against Eugene. Is crazy work. It's absolutely bananas. Yeah. It doesn't make any sense, right? So the men talk in the back again, and that's when I was really done with Steve. Okay, when he wanted to say, oh, your wife, you're jealous because your wife said, you know, I had a good body and all this, and told him he had a little man complex, and he still came backstage with all of that energy and puffing his chest about being at the Met Gala. What he's really mad about on Royaire is that it was shown on TV and that he acted a fool instead of saying, here go $300. What is $300? Royaire, if I would have got caught at the door and it's me and you, I could be like, okay, here, I got the $300. We ain't talking 3,000. That's 3,000. We would have had to leave.
Listen, thank you, but I gotta go. Look, this was cute. Okay.
Yeah. 300. Tap my phone and take the money.
Let's go.
There crying over $300, Steve. I'm telling you right now, that is what he is more mad about. He's more mad that they got caught on screen and it was played that him and his wife was crying over $300. Yeah, Mimi did pay. But then Toya was saying when they was all on the stage that they still didn't pay. So did they pay the $300? That's the thing. Okay, so but I really didn't like when Steve was back there talking about that he had the little man complex. I was like, I could punch Steve in the face. He's nasty work.
Yeah.
He's declassing the show.
Too far.
And I'm glad Eugene walked out.
Yeah.
He said, let him have his tantrum. I'm out. Then he going to talk about, oh, he hangry and Steve.
I ain't had no protein in 7 hours. Like, sir.
Like, stop.
This is not the football field. This is not the NFL. This is not the locker room. This is Married to Medicine, my love. Okay?
That part. So Angel, they asked in the end, you know, Angel, how'd you feel? She said, I met some amazing woman. Well, of course, she got to say that. She want to come back next season and get a check. Yeah.
Okay, let me address the couples coming out together real quick. Let me address that. So, the couples come out together. Heavenly, I've been trying with you, and I have to put you down. When Jackie and Simone walk out, she was like, "Look at these bees! Like, look at your friend! Like, just what is the hate for? What is the hate for? Why are you hating on 2 Black women coming back together after a horrible lie that you spread and that you put out there? You obviously don't want Simone and Jackie to be close or to be friends. You know, when Andy, and I'm gonna tell you really why Steve got really upset, because Andy called you out. you were going to a charity event. Did you think that you would not have to pay? Like, Andy was confused, just like the rest of us were confused. Why did you think that you were going to be able to show up? You thought that the boys was going to come out here and support you and cheer you on. Then on top of that, you start going back and forth with Toya. Not just backstage, you saying that men stand up for their wife and they don't be doing all this going back and forth with the women and all of that. But here you are out here trying to go back and forth with Toya over $300 that you may or may not have paid. Then you want to talk about last year you gave more than what Eugene and Toya gave. Sir, it's 2026. We ain't talking about last year. In the words of Nene, we ain't talking about then. Let's talk about now, okay? And right now, you did not do your part in what you should have done. Secondly, where's Mimi at? Mimi is the one that's the medicine. Why is Mimi not speaking up and going back and forth with Toya? So obviously you had to do all of this sassiness so that she could get her second season, third season, whatever season that she's going on. Because she did nothing. She said nothing. Nothing. Other than we have a great marriage and we check in with each other and all this. Girl, we don't care. We had 14 weeks to get to know who Stevie and Mimi were. Y'all chose to tell us who your children were. It's not our fault now that you want to try to put this on us. We don't care. Bye. Move on.
Goodbye.
Contessa want to jump in and talk about it became the Toya and Eugene show. As Toya explained, when the Met Gala first started, what did Jackie do? She asked, collected money, and didn't tell anybody what was going on. When the second year, she got her and Heavenly, and I think Simone, and they put on the event and told nobody what was going on. So why are we holding Toya to this standard of something that nobody else was held to? Why are we holding Toya and Eugene to these standards? Because we didn't hold Jackie to this standard. We didn't do this to anybody else other than Toya and Eugene. Contessa, as you seen in the episode, if you watch, Eugene wasn't just standing at the door waiting to accost anybody. Someone came to get him who showed up without a ticket. Now, what if somebody showed up to your birthday party and didn't have a ticket? You wouldn't want your husband to make sure that everybody is... Well, I forgot. Scott is not going to do anything to help you out. So we can't use that as an example because you've been complaining all season about what he don't do for you.
Yeah, I didn't like the way she jumped in and did that.
And then also another shame on Jackie. Toya made a point of saying that she did pay money for the event last year. Jackie over there shaking her head. No, open up your mouth and defend me against these newbies who are on the couch who just got here. And I've been here since season 1 with you, Jackie. But you mad because your husband cheated on you and I'm putting out the information of what he's actually doing. So you're going to let these people make me look foolish? No, ma'am. Shame on Stevie, shame on Mimi, shame on everybody on that couch to defend foolery. When Andy can call out some foolery, you know it's bad, Diva. You know it's bad.
That's bad. You're right. And she called them 2 OBs. So you calling your own friend a OB. I don't know why Jackie loves that girl so much.
I don't either.
It's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy.
But yeah, to make it seem like Toya was trying to make this the Toya and Eugene show, y'all ride Toya constantly. And for what? For what? For what? Contessa, why you just didn't jump in and help? Why you didn't show? I didn't see you there early. You saying you offering help. Why you just didn't show up to help? That's what a real friend would do. As Simone said, she accosted everybody at the door, including her, who bought 10 tickets. Toya still came and said something to her. So why Mimi and Stevie are feeling so attacked, I don't understand it. And it wasn't that Eugene came to you. Eugene was brought to you because you didn't have a ticket. So this whole narrative of a storyline that they were setting this up to pick on y'all, what do Toya and Eugene need to pick on y'all for? For what?
They jealous of them.
Y'all just getting on a platform that they've been on. What are we talking about?
Yeah, they're jealous.
Like you said,
I don't know what that she said though. I don't know what's in their spirit that makes them so jealous of us, girl.
Nothing. Not nothing.
Nothing.
And then, as you said earlier, and then we can move on, deplorable. Deplorable is the only word that I can think of right now. I'm sure there's a worse word, but deplorable. The way that Steve got backstage and disrespected Dr. Eugene Harris. Doctor, you're an office assistant at your wife's office who got kicked out of the NFL. This man is a doctor, okay? Now check that. The fact that no other men got up and walked out of the room. Y'all want to he talking about, oh yeah, he hungry. That was not funny. It was nothing funny about it, and it was nothing respectful about it.
Yeah, I didn't like it at all.
It was horrible. It was deplorable.
Yeah.
And I would not call none of them my friend, not one.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. It was just it went low.
Yeah.
It went low. And I see why they didn't have 3-part reunion. And all before this, they had a 3-part reunion. Ain't it ironic? Here comes Steve and Mimi, and now we only got 2 parts.
Because they didn't have nothing to talk about all season.
Right. Yeah. I think Contessa's mad that Eugene did not take the little closet she was offering him for his office. Oh, okay.
For your office is still not open because we using the sprinter to have our appointments, girl.
Yeah, thank you, Little English Rose. I didn't realize where that energy was coming from, but you are right. You are right. That's why she mad. Well, we close out where Angel said, you know, she thank God she met these amazing women and she loves this platform. Go ahead, Angel, get your check again. Brandy is a great experience. Well, I hope, Brandy, if you come back, you get a nanny, you get some help, and you and your husband can actually be in scenes and not you FaceTiming him, telling the people to say thank you for the chicken wing.
Don't do Brandy like that.
Toya says she gonna fight for the truth. And she apologized when she needs to. And she let the people know, I don't hold grudges. This is it. This was done. This was this year. We're going to move forward. That's it. And that's all. Boom. Heavenly said, if she wins, what Andy said, do you think, you're going to win? She said, yeah, she's going to win. And Contessa said, yeah, I guess this is goodbye if you win. Right? She said, because you're going to win. And you said, if you win, you can't come back. And then everybody on the left side of the couch was cracking up because they want to say goodbye to Heavenly. They done with her. And so is Andy. And if you ain't peeped that, Heavenly, and it has been said for a long time that Andy was never that fond of Heavenly.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's showing. He's showing it. Andy does not know how to not show how he truly feels. She
didn't even have a respect to remember his name, Diva. Remember when she was like, whatever your name is. Like,
that was disrespectful. That was disrespectful. You don't let the doorknob hit you. I know that's right. Okay. Simone says she good with Jackie, but Heavenly is a whole nother story. Okay. She's like done. They kind of went back and forth for a minute, but then Andy just cut it off. He was done with it. Quan said, now the girls are family. Now that she ain't got Sister Circle, she don't have King, she don't have Dr. G, she probably don't. Now all of a sudden the girls, they family. And she got all teary-eyed.
We are family, like a giant.
I tell you one thing, though. Quad got the dictation in her mouth. Your Quad is a fraud. Quad got the dictation in her mouth. She know how to throw words together, and she know how to get the game going so she could get back up on that show again. Okay, so they family. And let me say this. The people have dragged, I don't know if you've seen the Royaire, they have dragged Quad for filth over that wig. That wig was terrible.
Oh my, yeah.
And why did they spray that part up where the things was up like, it was up like this, and then the child,
your Quad like the Long Island medium.
My God. up in that thing. Steve rehearsed those reads. He did, and he fell short. That's why he getting dragged in these streets right now.
Mm-hmm.
He could kick rocks with no shoes on. Bye, Steve. And him and Mimi, they doing these little reels on the Instagram. Y'all better read the room. Nobody's feeling y'all.
Mm-mm.
And we wish the best for little Stevie and Savannah, but we don't like y'all. Y'all can kick rocks. Go. Tell your story on YouTube. Not on Married to Medicine.
The doctor and her assistant.
And you know what, Royaire? I caught that shade. You messy. You said he an assistant in her office. Now, I caught you. I caught it. Uh-huh.
I'm just saying, Toya was the assistant in Eugene's office, but I guess Steve, I think Steve and Toya need to go to lunch together and have a little play date. I think they would just have a darling time together. Steve is very sassy. He liked to talk about the girls. He liked to get involved with the mess, and they need to just go to lunch together and have a kiki. I think they would have a wonderful time. He was talking about Toya obsessed with his body and all that. Boy, bye. You look like Squidward when they try to make Squidward perfect from SpongeBob. Sir, go somewhere and sit
down. And can I be very honest with you? Toya loves Eugene.
Yes.
Eugene loves Toya. To be so disrespectful, like you all of that, and you and your wife to really think they jealous of y'all? Are you really that crazy? Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, if I had to rate this particular reunion, Royaire Part 2, I'm conflicted and I'm troubled. I really am, to give it a rating.
Okay. Let's rate it entertaining wise. Let's give entertainment, because I feel I kind of feel you in the rating of how, just because I feel like the line of disrespect was just officially crossed. Like, we have gone too far. So as far as entertaining, let's give it a rating on entertaining tonight.
Nikki said, "Read more comments, girl. We don't have to. We don't have time. We almost
yeah.
Go ahead. The season was a solid 8. Okay, you talking about the season?
Okay, because we normally do this as our last episode. So
yes, go ahead, do your.
Yes. Okay, we're at the end of this episode. Listen, we want to thank each and every one of you for joining us. As always, we have reached the end of our season of Married to Medicine, and it's been a wonderful season. We want to remind everybody to hit the like button and make sure you subscribe to both channels. But as we get ready to end out every show that we do, we like to do a rating. So we want to give our first rating on the season as a whole, season 12. So you could put S for season, and then you can give your rating, and then you can do episode E, and then you can give your rating. So Diva, overall as a season, I'm going to give this, I think I'm going to agree, whoever said an 8, I'm going to give it a strong 8. We had a really strong 8 this season, in my opinion. We had, a little bit of drama. We really dealt in some family stuff, Diva. Toya and Eugene and Cecil and Simone, they really solidified this season for me with their families. I really love, getting into the nitty gritty of everything that was going on and what was happening with their families, the real raw truth of Married to Medicine. So I really enjoyed it from that aspect, seeing the ladies back doing their doctoral, responsibilities, and, Toya being a wife, meeting the new ladies. It was a pleasure to be around Brandy this season. I really enjoyed Brandy. Angel really didn't bring much to me. So, she was here, she wasn't here, whatever. But overall, I'm giving it an 8 for this season. This episode, Diva, when I first watched it, I was truly entertained. I was really, really entertained. I was just like, wow, like this was a good reunion. So I'm going to have to give it a strong 8.5. I'm going to say 8.5 for the reunion as a whole.
The season, I don't know why the struggle is real for me.
I
But
think
I
because of the disrespect. I think we have
yeah,
gone so low with the disrespect, especially towards Eugene, somebody that don't do nothing to nobody. Like he
yeah.
is the most innocent person on the show, like in my opinion.
No,
And
I'm in agreement with you. I'm in agreement with you. Um, so I enjoyed the season. I really did. I enjoyed the season. I got some good kikis and ha-has. So for that, I'm gonna go ahead and give this season a 9.
okay,
Um,
yes, okay.
yeah, because I did enjoy the season. For this reunion part 2, I guess in terms of keeping it real, it is reality TV, and Steve was definitely in his feelings. Definitely his feelings, and they showed it to us as much as they could. Because in my heart of hearts, I really feel like it got worse than what they showed us. So I'm going to say for this particular reunion part 2, I'm gonna give it a 8, and I think it could have got higher if more people was actually held accountable and we saw some resolution to some situations.
Yes,
Um,
yes.
I do like the way Andy he checked Steve. He said it's a charity, and you know how he really checked Steve low key. He checked him low key because he told them this is the second time, because he said it in episode 1. This is the second time he said, contact me next time because I'm going to donate. This is the second time Andy said that. And that was a little dig to Steve and me. He said, it's charity. Like, you're not going to give. And for Steve to go low in the gutter and said for 3 years, we gave more last year when they gave that $5,000. So that tells us you didn't give it from your heart. You didn't give it for charity. You gave it the showboat because y'all wanted to be on the show. And that's why you gave that $5,000 to kind of guarantee yourself a slot on the show. And so 10 years from now, we're going to have to hear about the $5,000 you gave them. And that's why you're not paying no more to the Met Gala. You said you give to whatever charity you give to, and that you was out. You wasn't giving nothing to the Met Gala. So like Eugene said, why are you here? Why did you show up?
Keep the same energy.
Keep the same energy. He worked me up. I don't like him, and I want him and Dr. Mimi gone. We've seen enough. We had enough. I didn't like the way she disrespected Sweet Tea.
Yeah, that you came in as her friend. That was your friend.
That was your friend, allegedly. I'm not here, but we're gonna show this real quick for you. Let's show this.
Be honest.
Liar. He's such a liar. Now we talk about everything, but you didn't talk about your son because you a quiet person. You're such a liar. I'm sick of Dr. Damon too. Low down, dirty individual.
Low down, yes. Monique is giving this. She said an 8 for the season, a solid 8.
Not except his son almost running over a car.
Oh my God. Thank you. Happy belated birthday. Thank you so much. Nikki is giving this an 8. Anna is giving it a 6. I am 50 she said a 7, hands down. The Taken is giving it a 4. Emmanuel said a 10 out of 10 for Toya and Eugene. Real, authentic, truly married to medicine. I agree. Royaire looks, yeah, you know, it's doing what it's due. Thank you so much.
Yeah, being cute for the birthday. Being cute for the birthday. I ain't mad at you.
Educated is giving the season a 9. Nikki is giving the season a 7, and then the episode an 8. Okay. Little English is giving it the season a 9.5. Okay, look, this was a really good season. This was a really good season. It really, really was. I am 50 said a 8 for the season, a 7 for the episode. The Token is saying 10 for the season and a 4 for the episode. Okay. All righty. Juanita says she's giving it a 6. Toya and Eugene are married to medicine. Yes, they are. They really are. Toya and Eugene and Simone and Cecil, they are married to medicine. Is it Zeline? Is it Zeline? 8.5. Okay. The family reunion was everything. I did enjoy the film. That was a good episode too. I forgot about the family reunion. Let's see. Pink, she said a season, 8 for the season, a 8.5 for the episode. Anna is saying a 7 for the season. Juanita said a 8 for the season, a 7 for the episode. Renee is saying an 8.5 for the season, a 7.5 for the episode. Raheem said a 6 for the season. Reunion is a 2 for me. I was more entertained with Angel's disaster trip over episode. Not the disaster trip. Yes, Andy does not care for Steve. There you could tell that there is definitely a dislike for Steve. Mistress is saying an 8 for the season and then a 6 for the episode. Let's see. Jocelyn is saying a 10 for the episode, a 7 for the season. Lawson said a 7 for the season, 7.58 for the episode. Okay. Well, listen, we appreciate each and every one of you guys participating with us tonight. Thank you so much for joining us on both of our channels. Remember, we are live on Chronicles of the Gray Hair Diva and Royaire's World. So I will drop our channels and each other's pages once again before we get out of here. That way you can go and like and subscribe to both channels. So make sure you do that for us tonight. Also, make sure you stay tuned with us as we will be starting Real Housewives of Atlanta on this coming Monday. Sunday, they will be dropping season 17. So make sure you tune in for that. We have K. Michelle, the lady from Slutty Vegan. I can't remember what her name is. Pinky Cole, I think it is. We have Phaedra, we have Portia, we have Drew Sidora, we have Cynthia as a friend back again. Shout out to Cynthia. And then we have what's the old girl who's getting a divorce now? Charles Barkley's wife, ex-wife. Angela. So they are coming in hot and heavy with season 17. So make sure you tune in for our recap of episode 1 of season 17 of The Real Housewives of Atlanta, as that is gearing up for this Sunday. Make sure that you join Diva for trending topics on tonight. About 8:30, somewhere around there. Make sure your notification bells are on all. That way you see each and every time we post a video with you in mind. Anything before we get out of here, Auntie?
Yeah, I'm going to FaceTime my mother, Royaire, so you can thank her for, me doing these shows with you.
Okay. And on that note, in the words of our girl Stacy, toodaloo, and hopefully we'll see y'all next week if we're renewed for season.
Oh my God.
Make sure y'all join Diva tonight at 8:30 for trending topics. And we will see y'all next Monday. Good night and goodbye, everybody.
Royaire's World.